So if you've seen any of my prior videos, you will know that I am not a fan of the dating app world. Whether it be Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever it is, I'm not a fan of them. I think there's a lot of people that are on there for the wrong reasons. They're on there to boost ego or for entertainment, and they're not really on there for the reasons that I think, at least I was on them for, which was to find a long-term relationship, find someone to date and actually have potential at, starting a relationship together. But there is one dating app that I think can be very effective, and I guarantee it's one that you probably don't traditionally think of as a dating app, and that is Instagram. So what I am going to do in this video is break down exactly why Instagram shares a lot of the core functions and qualities of all of these other dating apps, but also why it's differentiated and different from, your Tinder, your Bumble, your Hinge, all these other traditional dating apps, and why I think it can be more effective to actually meeting people and actually dating and finding someone to, be serious or start a relationship with. All right, so what I've done here is I've drawn a little diagram on the whiteboard behind me saying the 3 core functions of a dating app. These core functions both Instagram and dating apps share, as well as breaking it down into 2 separate arms, one for dating apps, one for Instagram, and why Instagram is better than dating apps. So the 3 core functions of dating apps are 1, to like or show interest in someone else, and vice versa. Number 2, it's to message people, to be able to have conversation on there and text each other and just interact and get to know each other. Number 3 is to market yourself. With this new digital world we live in now, everybody has what I call a personal brand. When you go to a company and you say that company has a specific brand, they have a specific reputation or image or types of people that they hire and culture and people that they associate with. It's the same with your personal brand. And on both dating apps and Instagram, you're able to market yourself. You're able to give people a feel for who you are, who you hang out with, and etc. And now here we go. I broke it down into basically the ways that Instagram is different than the dating app. So obviously they share these 3 core functions, but if you go on Instagram, you're going to be able to build a lot more credibility than you are on these dating apps. And I say that because on the dating apps, you get to post 4 or 5 photos maybe. You can write a bio. You can kind of show some things you're interested in. There's things you can put on there, but it's a lot more limited. On Instagram, you can have pictures that date back to you being in 8th grade. There's a lot more ability to post a lot of pictures. There's a lot more information on there. And not just, your pictures, but there's timestamps on the pictures. Someone can look at a picture and see whether or not that picture was posted 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. A lot of times on these dating apps, you'll get people that are posting pictures that are 2 years old. And I can speak from personal experience. 2 years ago, I had a completely different look than I did now. I got the shaved head now, the beard. I'm looking a lot different than I did 2 years ago. So that timestamp makes a big difference. Also, on Instagram, you can see who people are following, how many people are following them. These are all things that build credibility. Do you have mutual connections? I think this is one of the best ways to build credibility. And really what it comes down to is the more credibility that can be built, the more willing people are to trust you and more willing people are to give you a chance and get to know you on a more human level. Basically what it comes down to is, your Instagram page, the personal brand that you have built on there, it's a lot harder to fake that than it is to fake a couple photos on a dating app. Okay, and then the second main point, and this is really the big one here, it's the farming versus hunting mindset when it comes to dating and meeting people. So when you think about sales or business, there's 2 ways to really bring business in. You can do it through farming, which is attracting people to you. You're putting content out there. It's more of like a marketing approach, right? Or you can think of it as hunting. That's more of like a cold, salesy approach where you're messaging people or cold calling people. You're going out and finding business. From personal experience, especially when it comes to the dating world, if you want to find someone that is going to be compatible with you, especially long term, I've learned that slow and steady wins the race. And side note with that is that this also means that you have to be up to date on your social media pages. You have to have an Instagram profile that is actually worth people being interested in. I get it, it sucks that we live in this digital world that's so centered around social media and all of that, but it really is pretty much a necessity in order to be successful if you even want to consider online dating. So those are the 3 core functions, the differences on why Instagram is more effective than your traditional dating apps. Now I want to move into part 2 of this video where I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process that I used in order to basically date the gal I'm dating now, and we basically linked up through Instagram. So far it's been successful. We're in the early phases, but I'm going to walk you guys through the exact step-by-step process and what that looks like. All right, here we go. I got this little graph that I drew, and this is the exact step-by-step process that I used whenever I was getting to know or meeting the gal that I'm currently dating now. So step number 1 is you follow each other. This is like liking or matching someone on Tinder or Bumble. If you follow them and they follow you, well, that shows that there's enough interest for them to at least see what your life is about. If you follow her and they don't follow you back, nix it. It's done. Don't even just unfollow them and forget about them. On to the next. Point number 2 or stop number 2 is engage with each other in some way. And my go-to is just respond to their story in some way. Get some sort of engagement going, like whether that be an emoji response to one of their stories, or whether that be liking one of their photos. Engage with their profile in some way and see if they reciprocate and do something similar back to you. If you like their photo, they like your photo, check box number 2. Step number 3 then is to start some sort of conversation. And I put an asterisk here because the goal when you start the conversation should not be to get a date right away. The goal should be to basically start building a relationship and really just get to know each other. So maybe respond to one of their stories and exchange a few messages there. But again, you don't need to get a date set up the first time you message each other. It's more about just feeling it out, seeing if the interest is still mutual. If it is, that's when you move to step number 4, and that is to actually set up the date. You don't want to have this long drawn out conversation that goes on for 3 months. If you can start a conversation, make it, maybe message each other a few times on Tuesday, and then the following Sunday, strike up another conversation and see if, the interest is still there. If it is, set up a date, try and get some sort of contact details and actually link up with each other, get something set up, and meet in real life. This is the exact process that I used, and I hate to make it sound like it's some sort of like business sales cycle, but I've learned that when you have a process to things, it makes it a lot more achievable and it gives you a better chance of success. So that is why Instagram is better than your traditional dating apps on actually meeting people and meeting people that have the potential to turn into a relationship. It's not the short and easy answer like these dating apps like to promote, but I've learned that if it comes quick, it often leaves quick. We're in the long game here, so if you're able to attract as opposed to going out and hunting and firing off a bunch of DMs or messages, it's a lot more effective, and it's at least been a lot more effective from my experience. So I appreciate you guys if you made it this far in the video, and until next time, peace.